Is Bangladesh witnessing a democratic revival or just a rotation of powers? Why did Bangladeshi National Party make such a dramatic comeback? And how significant is Jamaat-e-Islami's parliamentary presence? And did Gen Z voters fundamentally reshape political landscape? Welcome to Legacy IAS. Today we are going to discuss the 2026 Bangladeshi elections, not just the results, but what they actually mean for the region. So, what has happened? Bangladesh has just concluded its first truly competitive general election after a long phase of political dominance by the Awami League. For over 15 years, Sheikh Hasina's Awami League dominated the political landscape. Opposition parties alleged electoral manipulation, the caretaker system had been abolished, and the institutional trust had been weakened. Then came the 2024 youth led uprising, an interim period of administration just started. Okay. So, growing domestic and international demand for credible elections was also something that was observed during this period. So, the 2026 election was therefore not routine, it was a structured political reset. So, let us look into this issue. So, what are the results? Basically, who has won and what does it mean for Bangladesh? So, the Bangladeshi Nationalist Party (BNP) has secured a clear parliamentary majority in the 300-member Jatiya Sangsad. Jatiya Sangsad is the parliament of Bangladesh. Now, BNP has won a comfortable majority, crossing the 151 seats mark, okay, that is required for the domination. This gives them the mandate to form government independently. Now, its leader, Tarique Rahman, he is set to assume the leadership. But what about the other parties? What about the other parties? So, Jamaat-e-Islami, Jamaat emerged as a significant parliamentary force. While not dominant nationally, its seat presence makes it a significant question or opposition bloc. While with respect to Awami League, after years of dominance, Awami League has been reduced significantly in the parliamentary strength. Smaller and youth oriented parties, with respect to them, newer formations that emerged after 2024 uprising managed to enter the parliament, though with limited seats. Their presence, however, is politically symbolic. So the structure of parliament now reflects multipolar representation and not just one party dominance as was earlier with respect to Awami League. Now, understanding this, why did BNP win? BNP's victory can be explained through three structural reasons. First is anti incumbency fatigue. After prolonged single party dominance of Awami League, voters desired rotation. Then comes the narrative of legitimacy. BNP successfully positioned itself as a defender of electoral fairness. The third structural reason is that there was also voice of political pluralism, alternative to institutional concentration, and organizational endurance. That is, with respect to the opposition, despite years in oppositions, BNP has maintained its own grassroots networks. Now, this was not a sudden move, it was accumulated through political energy. So, understanding this, what led to the role of Gen Z in this present elections? The most important structural factor in this election was youth participation. The 2024 uprising was given and driven by the students, the young professionals, digitally mobilized voters. Their demands were, however, not just ideological, they were institutional. That means they talked about the institutions with respect to transparent elections, accountability, jobs, and economic opportunity. It also talked about the restoration of democratic competition. Now, Gen Z did not vote purely for BNP, they voted against the stagnation and concentration of power. Now, this distinction matters. If this government fails on governance and employment, this means that the Gen Z will backlash and it would be very, very swift. With respect to Jamaat-e-Islami's position, Jamaat's parliamentary presence is significant but must be analyzed carefully. Bangladesh is not moving towards theocracy. However, Jamaat represents organized Islamist political thought. Its seat strength may influence coalition arithmetic and public discourse. Now, this all it reopens the debates around secularism versus religious accommodation. The key question here is not whether Bangladesh becomes Islamist. The key question is how will religion be negotiated within democratic politics going forward? Now, that is a far more nuanced issue. Now, understanding this, what is the significance of this election? This election is significant on multiple levels. The number one thing is restoration of democracy. Now, after years of contested elections, competitive politics has returned. The second is institutional credibility, a transparent electoral process that rebuilds its trust in the parliament. And the third, that is the political reset. The binary dominance of one party has been broken. It also has a significant regional impact with respect to India, China, and West, which are watching very, very carefully with respect to the Bangladesh elections. Now, India values stability and security cooperation. BNP governments historically adopt a more nationalist tone. The strategic recalibration may follow, but not necessarily hostility. With respect to development versus the democracy debate, Bangladesh under Awami League saw strong economic growth. Now, the test is can Bangladesh combine development with competitive democracy? That is the real challenge. Another question with respect to the structure going forward. Now, is this transformation or just rotation? That means Bangladesh historically operates in a winner takes all model, and it is highly personalized leadership structure, deeply polarized two-party system. If those structures remain unchanged, this may be rotation. If institutional reforms are implemented effectively, this could be consolidation. So the coming years will determine which path does Bangladesh take. So on the closing note, the 2026 Bangladesh election is not merely about BNP defeating Awami League. It is about whether competitive democracy can stabilize in a politically polarized society. Regime change is easy. Democratic consolidation is difficult. Bangladesh has now entered that phase. Thank you.